Hello everyone. For me, I'm going to talk about this Ekweramadus case. It's something that I've really not been part of the whole discussion that have gone on around it. I think I just need to make my opinion on this whole issue, especially with the issue of, you know, us people writing and asking for mercy and stuff like that and all sorts of things. I'm like, look, rule of law should be rule of law, and nobody should be above the law. Where people, I see this whole thing, I think, especially in the Nigerian thing, we've sort of been conditioned to believe that people in certain positions aren't supposed to face the law, the wrath of the law, the way every other person faces it. And that has been the problem that we have in Nigeria, a huge part of the problem, where some people are seen to be above the law. Nobody should be above the law. And the thing is that we need to hold our public servants, people who hold offices or position of trust, we need to hold them to higher standards than we hold ordinary citizens who owe us nothing. We are ready to persecute fellow citizens whose lives have nothing to do with any of us. It's their private business. They are not holding any office of trust or anything. We are ready to persecute them. We are ready to ensure if there's anything they do, face the law, you know, hold them to higher standards. But when it comes to those who are actually in position of trust, we are more ready to, okay, but then let them. No, it doesn't work like that. Honestly, the moment you are in a position of trust, you need to hold yourself to higher standards, because anything you do is not just about you. It's about a whole lot of other people whom your action will be reflecting on them. And that's the way these things should be. If we don't get to that place, we can never have the country that we are all yearning for, the country that we are all looking for. So all of this issue of always saying, oh, now writing letter, he should be pardoned, they should, why? Why? That's the question. Why? If it's an ordinary, how many other Nigerians who have committed crimes in UK are we writing letters to UK and asking them to pardon them? Oh, okay, yeah. He holds a high political office in Nigeria. Why didn't he think about that before the action? You understand? For me, some of this thing is just the sheer impunity of it all. Yes, his daughter is sick. I mean, every one of us, I have children. I have a 24-year-old and I have a 21-year-old. And I know how, you know, I love my kids. And if they have any terminal illnesses or any such, I mean, life-threatening illnesses, I know how I will be frantic, how I will try to do everything, you know, to get them that help. It's not at the expense of breaking the law, at the expense of using another person's child. Just the way I love my child, that other person's child is also loved. And these things, there are legitimate ways you can actually use to get this thing. You want to have a good healthcare system in the UK. Let me tell you something. There is no country in this world that you cannot buy their citizenship. UK, America, name it. You can always get the citizenship. It's all about money. I remember, you understand? So if it's something that has to do with, go get the citizenship, invest in that country. They give you citizenship. How many? Put in some investment. I remember some few years ago, I don't know whether they still do, they had this entrepreneurship route, or is it route that you can use to get a citizenship. Invest, was it, I can't remember, was it 500,000 pounds or something like that? It wasn't up to £1 million. I remember that time. You invest in it, you invest, and then within how many years you are eligible to actually apply for their citizenship and passport. I knew I had some friends who really were on my case that time. Oh, Aisha, you can do this, you can get better. Honestly, I wasn't interested in getting another country's passport. I was okay with my green passport, and I love my green passport. So for the Ekweramadus, for crying out loud, you can actually work your way to being, even if it's UK citizens, probably they are already even, they probably have the leave without this, and then go through the system. Let your child be registered. People will donate. People donate their organs. I have a child. I have 2 children. One of them has already putting that this when I was sitting down one, that's even story for another day. I was sitting down one day, and then she brought in this thing for me. My daughter brought in this and said a form to let me know that, oh, she has at the UK this, she was 18 when she made that decision that if she dies she wants her organs to be donated. And I was like, okay. I remember a friend even asking me, you know, when I told her first, she was like, Aisha, God forbid if anything happens and your daughter dies before you, will you actually do that? I'm like, yeah, it's her decision. If that's what she wants to do, I'll do it. Here is it. Take the organs and then give me what is remaining if that's the way it is. I mean, death for me as a Muslim, death is death. I can die before my children can die before me. We talk about death. It's something that, you know, it's inevitable. But so there are people who will be ready and willing to donate their organs. Just be on the list. There are some people that have spent like 6 years on dialysis, getting the best care. At the end, they not get their transfer. When they get a match, when it gets to their turn, they get a match. So for me, it's about, you can actually do this thing in such a legitimate way that you didn't need to go an illegitimate way to be able to do it. But what for me is also most striking is the fact that Nigerians are willing to waive it, are willing to say, oh yeah, but let it be now, but he is this position, he is that position. It shouldn't be. That's not the way it should be. Everybody must face the wrath of the law equally. If the president does something that is wrong, we has immunity. As soon as his immunity is over, prosecute him the same way you prosecute how I will put it, someone who has nothing, the whatever, an ordinary citizen. That's the only way we can get a country that works for every one of us. If we are sort of like say, because of this, because that's not the way we can't grow that way. That's not the way it should be. For me, I have sympathy for the fact that the Ekweramadus, the illness that their child has. As a parent, I know how painful that is. These are part of things we're always afraid of, you know, stuff like that. But at the same time also, you cannot go against the law in trying to save your own child's life, put another person's child's life at risk. If it's someone that decided they're going to donate, there are people who do it freely and absolutely. They want to donate their kidneys, if they're from the family or friends, or I mean, Selena Gomez, it was her friend that gave her kidney. There are a lot of bad people. The other day we have our own musician his wife donated her kidney to him. People do it a lot. You don't need to. And we've been having all of this issue of organ harvest. If we talk about Nigeria, Nigeria is such a crime scene where people are being taken, a lot of people are being kidnapped. There have been this rumor and some investigation and into all of that. Most of the people who are being kidnapped, a lot of them, it's organ harvesting. It's people being, you know, this bomber that they will say, oh, they're taking this part. It's all organ harvesting. And so what the state normally does in countries like Europe, where they do not allow anyone to sell their organs, is to ensure that the poor are made vulnerable and they are not preyed upon. Because for some people, you might be in a position where you're really, really poor and you're forced to begin to sell your organs that ordinarily you don't want to do, just because of the position that you are in. And then there are people that will capitalize on that and use that to their own advantage. So that's what states do. So please, all of this pseudo sympathy that I see all around, that people are saying that, oh, do not it should not be prosecuted, oh, if it was not Nigeria, it's disrespect to Nigeria. Really? How is it disrespect to Nigeria? Oh, it's not disrespect to you that someone who holds an office of such high esteem is doing the thing that they're doing, but it's disrespect that the person is being prosecuted when they committed a crime somewhere. But the person should have respected you and not commit those crime somewhere. And I wish the daughter quick recovery. I wish she gets a donor soon, and in the place she is, dialysis, she should get that dialysis until she's able to get a donor that will give her, and wish her good health. It's not easy. It's never easy on anyone. And sickness, you know, when you even have the money to take care of the sickness, it's not that difficult, because there are some people who have the sickness, they don't have the money to take care of the sickness. I will never forget, I think in 2000 and was it 3 or 4, I was having this there was this something. Is my left, even up to now, my left part of my body it's not as active as my right part. I had issue with my left carotid artery. According to I was seeing is it a neurologist here or something? Neurologist, I think. My left carotid artery was not supplying my brain very well, and so I was having a lot of, you know, certain issues. I went to the first time they wrote a medicine for me, medication. So I went to go and buy it at the chemist, and the guy looked at the medication. He looked at me and said, "This is for you." And then, like, you could see that pity and whatever in his eyes. And I looked at him, and for me, that's the way I always do with life. I looked at him and I said, at least I can afford the drugs. So, and then the drugs were quite a bit expensive, but something that I could easily afford too. I was like, at least I can afford the drugs. I said, there's someone else who has the same thing, but they can't even afford the drug. So that's the way I always look at life. And I remember even my doctor, like, okay, there were certain rules I was given. At one time, in short, the drugs were affecting me so much, and I just let it go. Like, I would take quality of life over quantity of life. Even if I'm gonna die, no matter, let it be a fruitful life, not the one I'm dependent on drugs and everything. So I've always had this. I understand what health issues can be, but it shouldn't get to a place where you now try to do something that is wrong. So at least, even if you have an health issue that you even have the money to be able to take care of it, somebody else has to be looking for GoFundMe, or just sit down and wait out death because you can't do anything. And we need to, you know, we need to let things matter in our country. Everything is important. Let's not just say, oh, because somebody is a big man or big woman, then their own way will be different. No, that's what has led to the impunity that has kept us where we are in this country. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Bye bye.